Hey guys, Monorisu here, and today I'm presenting Gwent, the Witcher card game. Now, it has just entered public beta, version number 0.96.28, and I wanted to give this game a quick look at, see what it's doing, because I've played it for a bit, I enjoy it. If you check, I'm not even level 10, so I can't play ranked, and this is after a ton of play, which I find very nice. If you look at a similar card game like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering Online, which is a terrible game, don't play it, the physical version is much better, wherein in Hearthstone you could just jump right in a ranked. This Gwent is a bit more complicated, there's a lot more to learn, so the fact that it does take so long to get to level 10 to play ranked is very good, because it means you can play more casual matches just to learn the game. Now, loading in, you're going to be presented with the multiplayer screen, casual match, ranked when you unlock it, leaderboard, also when you unlock it, and a friendly match, play against a friend. You can complete most of the things with a friendly match, and so it doesn't really matter. Now you can either drag and scroll like that, or you can just click up on the tab here. Now, checking out single player, there is a practice mode where you can choose from your decks. As you can see, I have 4. 3 of them I actually make, that one's just the Fultis deck, that basically a pre-made deck, along with some challenges. Going into the challenges, they teach you, it's basically the tutorial. You got your fundamentals here, basic, advanced, special, deck management, how you create decks, where to buy the cards, how to craft, and then it brings you along to these 5 different factions here. Now, these challenges are very important to playing the game because they provide free resources to get more cards. Each one of these grants, when I did it, I believe it was 50 ore, and you need 100 ore to buy a pack. Now that's 1 pack, 2 packs, times 5, so that's 10 packs for free, which gives you a good amount of cards. And these last ones with the chests, they grant you a special card that you can only obtain through the challenges, which are very good. You can also just craft them later, but these are where you get them for free, which means you could dust them if you want to craft other cards. For example, when you did these 2, you would pick up Dagon and you would pick up Unseen Elder. In fact, no, because as you see here, these are the cards you get the leaders. So when I did this, I wanted to play the monster faction, so I completed this one first, and I picked up the Unseen Elder and the Dagon. Now in between loading screens, it gives you a quick look at a card. Speaking of cards, we're going to go right into cards. As you can see, coming to the cards menu presents you with 3 options: your deck builder, your collection, and trinkets. We're going to jump right into the deck builder and give that a look. As you can see, it's quite simple. It brings up the decks you have. You can edit them just by left clicking, delete them by right clicking, and create a new deck with a left click. Upon clicking it, you're presented with a faction page where you choose which faction deck you want to build. Exactly like in Hearthstone, where you say if you want to build a mage deck, you click mage first, and then you go from there. So since most of the cards I have are monster cards, you can check that out. And it presents you with the 3 leaders. Now, each leader is a card, so you have to take that into account when playing, and they each have different abilities. Each leader card is essential as they give you a really good tempo swing, because they're all very powerful, but you have to play around them since your opponent has them, and you have to use them to your advantage. And you can see just in the monster faction, Aridin, when you play him, he's just a 5 power, but he spawns a bronze wild hunt unit, which is 4 different cards. Is it 4? 1, 2. Yes, 4 different cards, one of which lets you summon a copy from your deck of a bronze minion from the wild hunt you already have on your field, one that allows you to play Biting Frost from your deck, one that allows you to deal 3 damage to an enemy minion, and if it kills it gets stronger, and a 6 power. So that means at a maximum, Aridin, when you play him, can generate 11 power. In the simplest circumstance, there's lots of ways where you can combo it out to get more. Unseen Elder, deploy, he consumes 3 allies and gets stronger, so he kills 3 of your minions to strengthen himself. Very useful because gold cards are normally their status can't be affected most of the time. And the Dagon, deploy, spawn a Biting Frost, impenetrable bog, or torrential rain, weather effects that affect the battlefield. And the one I enjoy the most is playing the Dagon, because provides a really powerful swing. Now we're going to check out what it goes to make a deck. Now clicking on the deck name up here allows you to change it. Bottom left shows you your hero card. And from here, you can scroll through. I really don't like this. It's not terrible, but I don't like having to scroll through this. I'd rather prefer just like something a lot better. Because this, it's like you go through one card at a time. If you're looking for a specific card, you're like rolling around, or you just click in the filters, which is annoying. Now, as of right now with 0 cards, this is an invalid deck. The minimum amount of cards you can have in any deck is 25, and the maximum is 40. Depending on what kind of deck you want to build, you probably want to hit that minimum 25. That way your deck is more consistent. But if you're doing something that requires lots of like deployment and stuff, you probably want to go for the max 40, because you can just pull cards out of your deck and it doesn't matter. Now, the amount of gold cards you can have in a deck, you can have up to 4 gold, 6 silver, and as many bronze as you'd like to fill that. So at 6 and 4, that means you can have at most 30 if you include those. And with the bronze, you could put 3 copies of any bronze card, 1 copy of any silver card, 1 copy of any gold card. Now we're going to look at the gold cards in the game and see what they're about. Right now I only have... what is this? I only have 2 for the monster faction. No, 3 for the monster faction actually. And 2 which can be played in any other deck. Yeah. You can always tell which one belongs where. Because... oh, it's actually 3 for any other deck. Because looking at the card, if you check up to the top right, which would be right here. If you look at that, they have this... basically that. This one that shows here is a Witcher's Garb, 2 swords, chainmail, that kind of stuff. And that means those are cards that can be placed in any deck. Now, specifically for the monster faction, as you can see, they have this like dragon tail thing going on, and it's red. You can easily differentiate them just by the color alone, because monsters are red. Very easy. Now you can put a maximum of 4 gold, and you always want to. There's no point. Gold cards are very powerful. And with Dagon, the cards I like to always use is the Draug, double click to toss them in, Woodland Spirit, Triss, and Geralt, because they're all very powerful, especially in this deck. Damage effects are especially good, because while Triss has a strength of 7, damaging a unit by 5 means your opponent loses 5, so that's a net gain of, what is that, 12 power in one card. Geralt, just 10 power, very good. Deals 6, so that's another swing of, that's a swing of 13. And Woodland Spirit, spawn 3 Rabid Wolves, those are a 1 power, so that's 8, and apply Fog. Now we're going to look at the silver cards and see what makes them different. You can only have 1 copy of a silver card, and these cards are more situational. They're strong, but they're gated by the fact that they can be affected by other cards, and you can only have 1 of them. And their effects are very powerful. So, like Scorch, destroy the highest units, and it's good, and it's important to know that gold cards are not affected by any other card, other than, I'm pretty sure, Dimeridium Shackles. So this, even though it says destroy the highest units, if this Geralt, which has 10 power, is the highest unit, it's gonna ignore that and just go after the next one. So, doo-doo, choose an enemy, copy its power, doesn't work against gold, that's important to know. And you don't have to use 6, but the ones I always toss in, just because I have them. Decoy, good, it lets you replay an ally. Most people have good deploys and strengthens it by 3. White Frost, weather card, affects 2, very powerful. Commander's Horn, very good at maximum. It lets me boost by 20 power if I have 5 units. Cleaver, because he toggles units lock. What a lock is basically, it means if you toggle a unit's lock, whatever effects it has are basically silenced. It's exactly how silence work. Crone Weavis, not very useful because she's a card that comes in a 3-pack. And when you have all 3, she's most effective. And since I have the 1, it's basically useless. And they're all silvers, so they take up your silver slots as well. So with that, I think I need any more silvers. Just toss in a Scorch and doo-doo. And going into bronze, these are basically the bulk meat of your deck. Very good cards, such as Alzur's Thunder, just damage unit by 7, destroy it, get out of here. First Light. These are always good to toss in. Probably just 2. Because just in case they play a weather effect. Now for the type of Dagon decks I build, you're going to toss in 3 Impenetrable Fogs. And then, let's see, yeah, Diamond Ranger Shackles. This is the only card that affects golds. And then, ooh, see, and then I toss in my Foglets. These 3 cards here, I'll stay on the animated one. If you look at its text, it has a 2 power, can be placed anywhere. Summon or resurrect this unit whenever you apply fog to an opposing row and place it on that row on your side. Destroy this unit when there's no fog on its row on your opponent's side. Each time a fog is played, it summons these 3 from anywhere. If they're in your deck, they get summoned. If they're in your graveyard, they get summoned. And since in this I have 5 fogs available to me, that allows me to summon them 5 times. So even though they get removed, they're always going to keep popping back up. Now along with that, I toss in Necker Warriors, because these ones choose a bronze ally and create 2 base copies of it at the bottom of your deck. So you play a fog, copy it with the Necker, and if you do that the total of 3 times, that generates 6 more, which means you have a total of 9 Foglets with 18 power. So that means playing 1 fog hinders your opponent and increases your power by so much. Now along with that, we're going to toss in, let's see, Members of the Wild Hunt. They're a good card. Let's see, we're going to toss in a Drowner, Griffins, and this is a pretty average deck. I can see exactly how it's going to play out. Basically, this deck strategy is similar to my other deck, where it's essentially you're going to win by copying Foglets to get a bunch of... That way you can pull these swings where you play a fog and it pulls them all out and you can do very well. We're going to save and exit that. Keep it there. You can leave the deck screen. Now we can look at the collection. As you see, this is where it shows off everything. You can mill spare cards at level 3, which just lets you take extra cards and get scraps out of it. As you can see, it's right up there. Filters. Very robust filter system. I enjoy it a lot. It lets you sort by common, rare, epic, legendary, the positions on the board, color, ownership, so like leader cards. And that's my favorite. You don't have to just type in new. It just says new, and then you can highlight over them, get rid of them. So you can sort very easily to see what cards you want. You can go by faction just up here. So if you want to look at all the monster cards, you just have to sift your way through the monster to see all of them. As you can see, each card has an animated version. It's very nice. So you can go through all of this, neutral all factions, go through all of them, see what you're looking for. For a menu screen, it's very good, and it shows you how many cards you have of each thing. So in total, there's 266 cards in the game, and I'm closest to filling out the monsters. And let's check out Trinkets. Now, here at Trinkets, you have avatars, borders, and titles. You can see this just lets you change out your avatar to whatever you want. So this is Imlareth. He's one of the Wild Hunt, which is why I use him, because I play the most with the monster faction. Avatars, these are just borders. As you can see, you get them for achieving ranks in ranked play. Biggest one being complete season 1 in the first place in ranked play. And titles, as you can see, very simple. Achieve rank 21, achieve rank 3, play a ranked position from 1 to 501, complete season 1 in first place. And that's the end of Trinkets. Going into the shop, you have your card kegs, meteorite powder, and open a keg. It's only like that because I can't open a keg right now. Meteorite powder, we'll look at that first. It lets you transmute cards into their premium versions. What that means is you can basically take your boring card and make it animated. It's okay, it means you don't have to craft like the gold versions, basically. And card kegs.
Ahoy, hoy!
Now let's just buy 2. Let's see if this will work. Let's see, go through PayPal. Purchase complete. Now we can open up these kegs and I can show you how opening kegs works. And the connection was lost. Okay. Now this is the open a keg screen. As you can see, it just presents you the option. Would you like to open a keg? Yes or not now. And for purposes of demonstration, we'll open it now. It brings us to our Augred friend, and it bursts open. Now each keg will present you with 4 cards that you can reveal. So as you can see, you have 1 blue, 3 blacks, Reaper Hunter, and like that. So you know, just average cards. But on the 5th card, you're given the option of choosing one of these 3. So as you can see, it shows you owned, not owned. So I don't have any spotters. I have 2 neckers and 1 immune boost. Now since I play monster decks most, I would want to pick the monster faction card. That way I can build more monster decks, and I don't feel like it's entirely random. So yes, I would like to keep it, and this is now the 5 I got. We're going to open the next keg, and repeat the process once again. So this time 2 purples, a black and a blue. Average card. And now you can choose another one. And since this one, summon a copy. See, this is why it's useful. Since I have 1, if you want to use this card effectively, you need the other 2, because its timer basically summons the other ones. This one, you need all 3 because it summons the copies of itself. Plan on crate. It's good, but these 2 are a much better pick. And since I already have this one, I might as well go with it. And that's the other pack. Options menu, very basic. I do like it shows the rewards. At 66 rounds won, you get 50 meteorite powder, which is very nice, lets you transmute to gold cards. It resets every 24 hours and it gives you a timer. At the very bottom, you can see how it stacks up. Clicking show your position, it shows you where you're at. At 2 rounds to win, you can get any of these 4. At 6 wins, you get a free pack. And since this is 15, I believe it's 7. You only have to get that 7 times in order to grab another free pack. And at this one at 75, you can get up to, and that one's a 50, you could get like, you get 3 packs a day. So the free to play model is very good. You don't have to really spend a lot of money. You can see what level, you also get stuff from that. You get a keg at level 2, card milling at 3, keg at level 4, meteorite powder, scraps, kegs, more scraps, kegs, ranked place, kegs, scrap, meteorite powder. And that continues all the way up until level 100. Which means the more you play, the more you're rewarded. Rank shows you the rank, and it shows you what rewards you get. Starting at rank 2, 150, you get 1 keg, but as you move up, you get more kegs, even more kegs, 7 kegs, 10 kegs. And the season, position rankings, gives you different borders, gives you a new avatar, more rewards. Settings, pretty average settings, resolution, graphics, audio. They also provide, they also provide 4K textures, if you would like to get that. And then patch notes, so you can see what's going on every new patch. Now, I've spent all this time talking about the game. Let's jump right into a casual max and just show you what's going on. Now I'm gonna use, let's see, I'm gonna go with a deck. I'm gonna go with Mist, and we're gonna jump right into a game and see how that works. We're gonna talk a little bit how the gameplay, how it works, and how you exactly win a game of Gwent. So, versus screen shows you what enemy you're up against, and you draw your cards. Now when you start off, you draw 10 cards. You can redraw 3 of them. Now since I have 2 neckers here, I'm going to keep them. I have a Foglet in my hand, so I'm going to want to toss him. And you could say, okay, I like this hand. I don't think I can get... You like this hand. You'd like to keep it, and you can finish redrawing. You can hide the cards to look at that. It's not really important at the beginning, mulligan. And you could just click finish redrawing. Now my opponent is still choosing cards to replace. It gives you, I believe it's like a minute, 10 seconds maybe. When you're at 30 seconds left, it gives you the timer. Now this coin flips to determine who goes first. Red means your opponent, blue means you. And now we take our turn. In Gwent, you take your turn and you play 1 card at a time. Each card has different abilities, and you win by having the higher number when both players pass. Pass can be done by holding down this or holding down spacebar, and you want to increase your power by playing cards. Now I have this card, Arrakis, with the ability Deploy. Deploy is basically a battle cry. It triggers when you play the card on the board, and its text is summon all copies of this unit. What that means is when I drop this Arrakis, it's going to drop the other two from my deck right on the board. You only play one card each turn. There are some different cases where you can play multiple cards, but usually you have to play a card first and it's the card's effect. So as you can see, just from playing one card, I was able to pull two other cards here. Now, these have the text, turn start, boost a random unit in your hand by 1. So each time his turn starts, something in his hand gets stronger by 1 power. So to stop that, I can Scorch, and since these both share a 6, it's going to kill both of them. So now playing one card, he's lost 12 power, and that's a good tempo advantage. I traded one card to get rid of his 2, and it puts me in the lead. Now he played this card, Yarpen Zigrin, a silver, with the text Resilient. Resilient basically means, as said right there, it remains on the board at the end of the round. What we're basically doing here is trying to see who can win with the most power at the end of the round. The most rounds there can be are 3. You only have to win 2 to win the game. So in this case, I want to get rid of this, but I don't really have a good way to do that. So instead, I'm just going to play a White Frost here. This is going to apply a weather effect to 2, like so, where everything in these 2 lanes will take 1 damage at the start of his turn until the round ends. Now he played a card, you can check it in the graveyard, First Light, which lets you choose from 2 different sets. He played Clear Skies, which removes weather effects from his side of the board. Now in this case here, I'm going to want to play more aggressively. Because it says Resilient, I don't want to let him take the lead, so I'm going to play very aggressively by dropping a gold card here, because it's going to hit that card for 6, and I'm going to gain a lot of power.
My lords, to your battles.
So now he's down to 0, I have 16, he has to figure out a way to come back from this or concede the turn. Conceding is also a very important part of the strategy. You only have to win 2 out of 3 rounds. So if you concede the first round, if you know you can win the next 2, giving up the first round doesn't matter, which is what he's doing here. That puts me in the lead, which means I have to figure out a way to get ahead of him. So as you can see, I've won the round. I only have to win 1 more now. Tying rewards both players with 1, so you don't have to worry about that. Now I have the choice to redraw, and I really want to. I want to keep the Necker Warriors, so I'm going to redraw a Griffin. And I got Dudu. He has cards with high power, so Dudu's going to make a good choice for a card, because I can copy the biggest thing he has. And it looks like he's eyeing to play his leader. Now he already played a Sunny Day, and since I have 2 weather effects and my hero, I can summon my Foglets 3 times. In addition, since I have 2 Necker Warriors and a decoy, it'll allow me to put in 6 Foglets back into my deck, which means each time I play that fog, it's going to be a lot harder for him to come back, which means I can quite easily either close out the game this round or next round if he burns out a lot of his resources. And if you ask me what happens when the time runs out, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. I assume you just win the round, but I guess we're gonna find out here. Oh wait, that was my turn? Holy, okay, never mind. But okay. I was so confused. I spent so much time looking at him, I thought it was his turn. But since all I did was get rid of Dudu, I don't really care. Okay, so we're gonna do a fog there. And as you can see, it pulls 2 fogs. And I'm an idiot, because I should have realized that. When you win the round, you start first. So I should have realized it was my turn to go first. But luckily, I didn't really have a good play to go first anyway. So I don't feel too bad about burning doo-doo.
The time of the white frost and white light is nigh.
Okay, so we use that to get rid of that. Well, that's fine because I have a second one here. And I want to get rid of this resilient one. That way I can combo it with the Neckers. And I don't want cards with resilient to stay on, because that's going to give him a tempo lead in the next round. But hey, I answered my own question. When you burn the timer, you discard a card.
Why have you summoned me?
And he really does not want me to hold on to those Foglets, but that's fine. Now I can play the Griffin with text, deploy, move a card from one graveyard to the other, and Brave, strengthen self by 2. If I'm going to play it, it's going to let me choose a card from the graveyard and move it to the other one. I don't want to move my Foglets, but I would like to move First Light. And as you see, I played it as a 6 power, but now it has 8. What Brave does is if when you play it, if you're still losing the round, it activates a certain effect. So in the Griffin's case, it had 6 power, but since I played it and I was still losing the round, it got strengthened by 2 because Brave activated. Okay, there's the other Resilient. And because he now has 2 Resilient here, I'm going to drop Dagon. That way I get a tempo swing. I'm going to drop a Fog once more here. Which means I still have 2 weather effects that I can use to play Fog in my deck. Which means if he doesn't clear this one once more, I can drop 2 Necker Warriors to copy these Foglets and allow me to make a very good powerful swing next turn.
I will not let this become a second Sodden.
Okay, he's dropping his gold card, Triss, deal 5 damage, which means he now has a lead. But I can drop the Necker Warriors here to put them in my deck for next turn. Now, each weather effect has a different property. Biting Frost deals 1 damage to everything on the row. It's only improved with a silver, what's it called? It's a silver monster card that increases it to 2, but increases all Biting Frost to 2 damage. Impenetrable Fog damages the biggest thing by 2 power. And what is it? It's some kind of something rain, where essentially it deals the lowest thing by 2. So now I'm going to drop another Necker Warrior, copy those 2. He played a Dwarven Skirmisher, with deploy damage enemy by 3. If it wasn't destroyed, boost self by 2. So there's a strategy to that. He didn't want to get rid of the Foglets, because he probably thought it was pointless, but by damaging the Necker Warrior, I lose 3 power and he gains 7. He played that. It's a 5 power that lets him boost another minion by 5. Now in this case, I'm going to decoy this weakened one. It puts it back in my hand, goes up to 8 power. I play it back on the board, and I put 2 more Foglets into my deck. Now we're tied for power. He has 2 cards left. I have 1. He has this. That's going to play a silver unit from his deck, which means he essentially can play 2 cards next turn, but I doubt he can beat 20 power this turn. He now has to beat 49 power. What I played was Commander's Horn.
Before no one.
Now he only needs to beat it with 5 power. He only has 1 silver left. That's a 2. Play a random dwarf. That's an 8. And it looks like he was able to beat it, but he had to burn a ton of resources to do so. He had a very good swing turn, but he burned way more resources than I did. He played 2 golds. No, he played 1, 2, 3. So he played 3 of his 4 gold cards, a silver, and his hero. Which means with 1 fog, I win the game, essentially. And since he won, Holding onto Triss is very good by itself. Whatever he plays, I damage it by 5, and I pretty much win. So let's see what happens. If he plays a gold with 7 or more power, I lose. And he passed, which means I just have to play Triss and I win the game.
I sense strong magic.
And since he passed and I have nothing to play, I pass automatically and I win the round and I win the match. It presents you with the victory. It shows you how the power's shaped up. You can send a good game to your opponent. If they send you a good game, you get a free 5 ore. It tracks your daily rewards. As you can see, at 6 you get the reward. At each of these points you get it, so I got 15 scraps. And experience, 50 experience for that match win. Get points for performance. And I believe there's also one for a win streak. So that is the basics of Gwent. There are many more mechanics that you need to look into if you want to get more in depth with the game. But that's a basic look at the card game. It's a lot more complicated than other ones. It's probably in the middle ground between Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone. So if you're looking for something more competitive than Hearthstone, but you don't want to get too involved in a game like Magic, Gwent's the game for you. This is Thomas28 signing off. I'll see you guys next time.